views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
And then we expand on them with very. I'll finish off the change by buying gum. Pardon? What? And it took me a while to decipher what he was saying. I came up with we can get better at what we're weak at, and we can even get better at what we're strong at. What makes communication healthy or effective? And Welcome to this edition of What Matters, and I am your host, Erica Lita, and today I am here with Michael H. Ballard.
Hello.
Welcome, Michael. Thank you so much for coming.
It's great to be here.
We have had this in the works for a long time, like a year.
A few months. We're
Like
into month 12.
Yeah, we're in month 12, but now we have done it, and we actually pulled this off on very short notice. This was one of those things where things just fell together, right?
Yes, in the past, we've, 3 attempts, and the schedule didn't work. Planning way in advance of weeks or months. And this time it was like, oh, we got less than 12 hours. Yeah, we can do that.
We could do it, yeah, we could do it. So Michael is here with us today. And first off, how did I meet Michael? He is one of the wonderful people that I met on social media.
Right.
So we connected through Facebook, right? We connected through Facebook, and now we are connected on LinkedIn and other platforms.
That's why she looks familiar if I do this.
Yes, only if you do that. I think
Take
it's
that
this
away,
now.
I don't have a clue who she is.
If you think it's this now. So I met Michael on social media, and one of the things that I say about social media all the time is it is a tool, like any other tool.
It is.
You can take a knife and you can cut up a loaf of bread and share it amongst people, or you can take the same knife and stab people. It's just a tool. It's what you use it for.
Yes.
So to anybody out there that says, my social media is so negative, I don't like this, you've got to surround yourself with different people. As Michael was saying before we started broadcasting, block works really, really well.
Yes.
And connect yourself with positive people doing wonderful things. And I can tell you that even though this is the first time Michael and I are sitting in a room together, he has provided a lot of support, a lot of insight, has been really a friend. And at first it started as virtual, but then when people touch your life and they touch your heart, it goes from being virtual to being real.
You don't have to be in the same room ever or often.
That's right. So guys, if you're discouraged with your social media, if you're feeling that it's not working, unfriend a bunch of people, find another bunch of people, and you might be really surprised at how much joy and information and entertainment it provides you every day. So that's my little segue into how I found Michael.
Check out the age group.
Yes.
I have some seniors on Facebook that are over 80, and they are so alive, so engaged in the perspective.
Right.
They got more perspective.
Okay.
And but a gentleman in Thailand who talks to me every day. He's retired.
Mm-hmm.
How's the weather? He pays attention to our weather so we can have a weather talk.
Oh.
And then we talk about social issues. That I'm not a man of much influence or power, so I keep my head down and my mouth shut, except on small things in my community, because that's where I'm comfortable. But we have really good talk. He's a real interesting guy.
Exactly. So, like I said, don't give up on meeting amazing people who will really enrich your life through social media. So that's my little introduction on how I met Michael. But what does Michael do? Well, Michael H. Ballard, you have to put the H in there, he has been teaching resiliency coaching since 1987.
Yes.
Now, not everybody's thrilled about putting up numbers, but he's letting you know how long he's been at this. And what is resilience? Resilience is an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And that's from the General Dictionary.
And we need to know we have choices when we're confronted with overwhelming or small stuff.
Okay.
So whether it's my chronic illness at 17 when a practitioner of health, good intentions said, oh, there's nothing you can do. And in my family, you're not allowed to live in the land of nothing. You can visit. It's called being human.
Right. I like that.
But somewhere after, depending on the size of the issue, hours, days, or a few weeks later, you're supposed to give yourself a shake like a dog that's all wet and say, what am I going to do? What are my steps? Who's been through this before? What did they learn? How can they help? What does the research say? What does my doctor, my faith healer, my faith leader say, etc.? And so my chronic illness really got me to go, actually there's nothing I can do. But, Harvard Medical School's got research since 1915 on mental health and chronic illness. So that got me really intrigued.
Mm-hmm. And so it's your own experience that puts you on this path to learning more about resilience.
Yes.
And then after a while, I guess you decide you were going to teach it to other people.
Well, I started off at 6 or 7 with a concussion, and the little man in the room beside me, because I was a little man too at 7, I had a headache that was this big.
Mm-hmm.
Concussions will give you a headache.
Mm-hmm.
He, on the sliding scale of how we react, was at the other end of the spectrum. Screamed, shouted, where was his grandparents? Why wasn't his favorite auntie and uncle there too? And I'm like, how do you scream and shout with a headache? So I became very interested in human behavior at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe that somebody with a concussion like me would scream.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have a headache? Yeah. Doesn't it hurt? Oh, yeah. Doesn't screaming make it worse? Yeah. But wanting his relatives there was a bigger need for him than dealing with the pain of the headache.
Right.
So I'm not sure what that says about him or me, but I was real interested that a person would scream when they had a headache. I just couldn't.
So it was that different reaction to
Yes.
a similar circumstance that made you say, why is that?
Yes, exactly.
And you were only 6 or 7.
6 or 7, but I was blessed that my father and mother were very good at saying, so what would you do? So pay attention to the differences. Don't judge, but pay attention to the differences. So my parents helped me frame my life in how are we different and why. Not better or worse, just different.
Right.
My parents took me to a restaurant where there was no knives and forks, only chopsticks. And they went, now there's a whole lot of people out there don't use knives and forks. So pay attention, because one day we might all be eating more with chopsticks than knives and forks.
Right.
Because that's their way. Not better or worse, just different.
Just different. That's very interesting that your parents would point out differences to you while telling you not to judge.
Yes.
Just observe.
Just observe, because it's more interesting. So my claim to fame is, I met a gentleman who had been a vice president of a major company in Korea, and he said, you do chopsticks better than me.
And that's what happens when you explore, right?
Yes.
When you are open to other things. And I really, really like that, though, about observing without judging. And I think that's a lot of people's first inclination is to make a decision about what something is.
Well, with chopsticks, how am I going to eat my soup? I mean, what a silly thing. Oh, you get to tip it up. Oh,
That's
okay
why,
then.
right.
I get the soup faster. Oh, I was all for that.
Right. So it's about, like you said, observing, because once you start deciding
Yes.
what something is, you kind of shut down the information that's coming, right?
Yes, and you slow down or kill the lesson.
Right.
If you observe, then you start to get ahead, because then you can learn from multiple sources. Or as I had it explained, OPE, other people's experiences.
Other people's experiences. So in this, okay, we had the Merriam Webster's definition of resilience. Tell me, what is your definition?
Resilience, for me,
Mhm.
is our ability to observe, learn, and increase the quality of our experience and potentially the outcome if we're resilient. So I did not change the quality of my outcome for cancer fighting with my thinking. But the quality of my experience was not here. It was here. I had less pain. I had less grief. Oh, don't get me wrong. I shook like a leaf when I wasn't sure I was going to live 6 weeks. I had some real big cries to the point where I could barely breathe. And then I was like, okay, do I own the issue, or is the issue going to own me? And it was like, oh, right. Let's go. We're going 15 rounds. This is the All-Star Championship fight of my life.
Okay, just before we go to break, I want you to repeat that last part. It's about altering the
Quality of my experience, and often, not always, often quality of the outcome.
Okay, so how we look at it, how we observe things, that can change our experience. It may not necessarily change the outcome
No, but it always changes the quality
of the experience.
I'm in charge. It's not in charge.
I love it. When we come back from this break, we will hear more from Michael H. Ballard about resilience. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters. I'm Erica Lita, and I'm here today with my guest, resilience coach, Michael H. Ballard. Thank you, Michael, for being here.
It is great to be here because I'm on a mission to share the message that resiliency matters, and we can all practice it a little to a lot more.
A lot more. Well, interestingly enough, resilience has been a word that I've heard a lot in 2019.
Yes.
A lot of things have happened for me.
Yes.
And the thing is, resilience comes with, it's usually, not usually, I think it's always in terms of something negative happening in your life, right?
Often, although I did work with a sales team where they'd had a lot of success and they had problems coping. So you start making twice as much money, it doesn't make you always behave in the right way.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Because you're stressed. And so people will do things when they're less resilient to manage their stress in ways that are not safe for them in the short or the long term. So I'm all for a little drink now and again in moderation. I've even known to have 3 drinks on the same day in 12 hours. I'm just a wild guy. That makes me boring to some people and extravagant to others.
Right.
Okay, I do it for me. My health is well managed. And so a lot of them had an 87% failure rate in this company with that particular job every 18 months. And so they didn't have the emotional, social supports they needed to cope with the stress of the position. So it's nice to make 60 or 80,000 a year, but it's awfully nice to make 120 to 150.
Mm-hmm.
But if the pressure means that you have this extra, you earn the money, but then you have the extra money in it, it's not all necessarily accounted for in the family budget, so then you have money to be stupid with, try to hide from the pain of the stress of the job. So they had this career success.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, 95, 100 people here, 7 chosen to be here, millions of dollars trading hands for the company, thousands of dollars of salary and raises and bonuses. And suddenly there's too much alcohol and non-prescription medications and extravagance and services being purchased that are illegal.
So, but you see, I was saying that resilience is usually in terms of dealing with negative things.
Yes.
And that's a positive thing, but it brought a negative outcome, right?
We're not coping 6 of the 7 of them were not coping, and this, I was there for 3 turnovers. They couldn't cope with the intensity of the job and the financial rewards that came with it. They were irresponsible with the financial rewards towards their own safety, their family safety, and the company.
Right.
You know, it's one thing to spend an extra $20 on chocolate
Right.
because you're stressed, or 2 bottles of wine instead of 1 for the week. Taking 3 days off and going on a bender and inviting people along or paying for company.
Yeah, that
Not
starts to get
good.
sticky. So that's negative in terms of their own, like you said, their coping mechanisms.
They couldn't cope with their successes, which is really sad because we all deserve success if we're respectful and honest and hardworking.
Right. Well, that's a whole other show talking
Yes.
about how people will sabotage themselves from success, how some people, they say that's what they want, but then when you look at their day-to-day actions, it seems that's
Doesn't-
the exact opposite.
Doesn't work.
But in terms of resilience, like I said, it's a word I've heard a lot this
Yes.
year. One of the people, bless her heart, my doctor, she's like, Erica, you're so resilient. And I said, I don't know if I like that. I'm not sure if that works for me because it seems like to me, it also is reflective of enduring, having that endurance. And they're just some things you don't want to endure.
No.
Right?
Very true.
There are things that, even though you're getting through, it's not that you don't want to get through them, but you'd rather skip the whole thing, quite honestly,
yes.
So it is an amazing thing to be resilient. And I myself, too, do know that I am resilient. I bounce back. I snap back. I find other ways. But that ability, like you said, it's a practiced one.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
something that, it's even like being organized, as I'm teaching one of my children right now. Some people seem to be naturally organized, but you know what? They get more organized as they practice. And if you are naturally disorganized, then the more you practice, the more organized you'll become.
It becomes a positive habit.
But how do you practice being resilient?
Well, one of the things is, where are you on your journey?
Okay.
I believe that your experts on the other side of the camera have a slide they can put up.
Yes.
And it's about our competence.
Okay.
So-
So the 4 states of resilience.
Yes.
Okay.
And so my first state to talk about is low competence and low commitment. No goals, no objectives. I heard it described as a wandering generality through life. We know we have to get from A to B, but we'll get to it eventually. So we need goals. We need objectives. And my parents helped me provide that at a young age. Michael, you want to make money? Good. You're 6 years old. We trust you. You can go 5 houses either side from where mother can see you at the kitchen sink to shovel snow on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Oh, and that lady that's a widow,
Mm-hmm.
you shovel her driveway for free.
Right.
She's 68 years old. You take care of her. She's community and family.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that helped give me that's my world. That's where I start my business at 6.
Okay.
I shoveled a lot of snow.
So if that's the stage where you are, where you have kind of like a low competence, and that's only because you were 6,
Yes.
right? It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
because you're incompetent, or low commitment. Again, you're 6.
But depends on your situation, too, though. I mean,
Right.
You could be 36.
Exactly. But we're
Depends
just
on-
saying in your
in my
in
case,
their
I was
circumstance,
6 years
that's
old.
where you started. And if you are 36 or 26 or 46 or whatever, and you are at that point where I think that's one of the reasons that we see, I'm really leaping here, guys. I hope I don't get killed for this, but I think this is one of the reasons we're seeing so much depression and so many people disconnecting because they don't have that
Commitment
goal.
to self or purpose.
Purpose.
What's your purpose?
When you feel when you're without purpose, you wander. You're lost.
And so when I came in tonight, I met a young gentleman outside who I've heard of, and I've seen a picture with one of his parents. Hey, I've heard of you. One of my purposes every day is to say hello to people, acknowledge them, that they've been seen and heard. Be respectful, depending on how long I'm with them, be gently uplifting, and be a little silly to put them at ease.
Okay.
Because, I have a lot of business trading, so, I was supposed to be the guy in charge of the room. Oh, it doesn't matter anymore. More about be connected, be engaged, be respectful, joyful, gently uplifting. It's one of my purposes.
Right.
It's one of my key
I
things
love
I
that.
want to do every day.
So you see, I love the way that he just stated his purpose. A lot of people think when they have to find their purpose, it's like this grand thing, they're going to save the world or cure something or fix something. But that is one of Michael's purposes, is
Absolutely.
to uplift at least one person
Every day.
every day. And that is, if everybody made that one of their purposes, I think we'd be so much better off. So if you're at the point, and this would be the first point, the first stage of resilience is low competence, low commitment. And your low competence really may be a feeling that you have and not so much the actuality. You may feel that you have low competence, but you are actually very competent. You just have met a goal. So here you say set goals and ensure the process is understood. So the next one now is low competence and high commitment. How does that work?
That's me at 13.
Okay.
I really wanted to help that charity in town, but what are my skills? How do I help? Where I can show up.
Right. So this is a desire thing. You know you want to do something, and I think this happens to a lot of people. This is almost like you're saying this is the 4 stages of resilience. Yes. This seems like almost like a life map. So you're kind of wandering around. You're like, I don't know what I want to do. And this is most people. Very few people are blessed to be born and be like, I'm going to be an X and stick with that and do it. And then they're that thing, and they're like, I like this. Most of us, that's not the case. So first we start off, I don't have nothing I can do, and I don't know what I want to do. Then it's, I really want to do something, but I have no skills.
But what are my skills? So that's where we go. So what do I have?
Okay.
And what do I need to do? What do I need to have to fulfill this purpose of working with this charity? Oh, they said I'm friendly. You knew that was a skill.
Right.
I just thought it was good manners. Oh, but you need a greeter when you have events at the door to direct people to buy here, hang up coats. I could do that at 13.
Right. I love what you put here. In the high commitment, low competency. So you know you want to do something. You're super excited that you want to do it. But as Michael cautions, don't let enthusiasm allow things to get out of control. This is when we can get in over our head, right?
Oh, big time. Oh, boy. This is when people spend money they don't really have to get something accomplished, and they don't really know how to accomplish it yet.
Right.
They waste money buying the wrong technology or aligning themselves with the wrong person. Not that the wrong person was evil, just it was the wrong person to get this thing.
Sometimes they're evil. Sometimes they're evil.
Well, there is that occasion.
But yes, absolutely. So you know what? Here is where I feel I've been. I've been. Maybe I am. Sometimes it depends on the situation. But where I really want to do something and I'm super excited about it, but I really don't know how to go about it. And like you said, then because you want to get on it, sometimes we align ourselves with the wrong people. We put a lot of money into, like, for example, let's say making a website, and then you realize I didn't need a website. I just needed like a landing page. And so I love that caution of not be enthusiastic. I think being enthusiastic is just such a fundamental component of a good life, but
I'm still
be
here
careful.
30 years later. I mean, it's exciting every day.
Right? I love this. So I'm staying on time. I know Selena's proud. So when we come back from this break, we're going to go over the last 2 states of resilience, which I think is really amazing. And then there's 7 principles that we're also going to talk about because Michael's got a lot to share, and we're also going to let you know how to get in contact him. So when we come back from this break, we're going to go over the last 2 stages of resilience, and then we have some other really interesting things to share that I hope make you reflect and check in with your own resilience.
World-famous spiritual astrologer and psychic Pandit Sai is born to serve people. He's an expert on palmistry and horoscope. He can handle all problems and give Vedic solutions for business, job, love, marriage, husband and wife problems, children, personal, and many others, including depression. He also performs pujas to clear all sorts of obstacles. Call Pandit Sai and see changes in your life now. 647-766-1419. Located at 2895 Derry Road, East Mississauga, Airport Road and Derry.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters. I'm Erica Lita. I'm here with Michael H. Ballard. We are talking about resilience, the ability to snap back, the ability to keep going. And a big part of that is, I think the whole thing about it is mindset.
Mindset, beliefs, and values. There's skills involved, But if you start with beliefs and values and a mindset that, I'm stuck, but I'm going to get unstuck somehow, somewhere, some way, on my own or with help or both. And also the courage to admit that stuck is not a fun place to be, but it's also quite human to be stuck.
Yeah.
You know, we've all gone through, and we're going to go through I call it big stuff, because that way it's safe, right? You know, whether it's divorce, a car accident, loss of a loved one, the list is endless.
And you're guaranteed it. You are guaranteed in this life you get some big stuff.
Yes, so
Some stuff will come at you.
competence
Yeah, so we were in,
and commitment, and
we were where? So we did the first two. Now we're doing the last two. High competence, but low variable commitment.
yes, you know, some days I'm here, and some days I'm not here. So I'm physically here all the time, but some days I'm just not emotionally showing up.
Right?
So is that a mental health issue? Is that a physical health issue? I got 2 chronic illnesses. In my teens, before I owned them both, because an expert said there was nothing I could do, boo. There was no cures, but there's lots of things to help me manage.
Right.
I had days where I showed up, but I was only half there emotionally because I had a lot of pain. And I'm here. What more do you want?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I definitely know that. That happens a lot with jobs you don't like. That you physically come in, but you're not there.
I had a manager who allowed his spouse to come to work, and she yelled at everybody all the time. So I only lasted 5 days when he was the manager. Like, bye. I'm going to work across the street.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So low variable commitment is kind of when you sometimes show up, and then other times you don't. Or you're there.
You're physically there, but you're not on time and on purpose. I've been doing some sales coaching for a client, and wow, people really like you. I said, I made a choice to like virtually everybody, unless they're being very evil. What's not to like? They showed up. They want to work. They want to pay bills. They want to help their family. I assume that they're nice and that they're smart.
Right.
So it's really fun to work with 20-odd-year-olds, teaching them things about sales. I'm getting long in the tooth by many definitions. So it's really fun to have 25-year-olds going, Mr. Ballard, this is really interesting. And why are you funny? Well, is that funny to look at or funny to work with?
Right.
You know, because it's fun to be silly. Because we're getting lots of accomplishments. We hit 250% of our target several days by teaching them certain ways to engage with people doing sampling. So it's a lot of fun. Because it could be work, drudgery, got to get paid, you know, oh, it's terrible. No, we're learning, we're earning, we're making things happen, and you're improving your skill set to put on your resume. So when you get out of high school or college, you'll have done the following things. And don't forget it, because they come in handy in other career sets.
Yeah, that we underestimate our skills a lot.
So that variable commitment is partially a choice. So once I found the research from the Mind-Body Clinic, it was like, oh yeah, so I own the illness. The illness does not own me. Even if I have pain, what should I learn from the pain today? I was learning to practice my breathing technique. Because the pain's pretty darn real. I could be in bed if I really wanted to stretch this, get a doctor's note. No, I will not let an illness all the time dictate my happiness and my productivity. There's times flat on my back in bed going, oh, no, not today. I surrender.
Yes,
And
but
it's like, did I eat right? Did I sleep right? Did I nutrition right for the last week? Or is this self-inflicted?
or is this yeah, and that is a big deal when you have a chronic illness, is knowing where that fits in. And you said something earlier, and I kind of liken that to the pity party. I believe that everyone is allowed to throw their own pity party. If you'd like to do that, you throw your pity party, you invite self-doubt, you invite fear, you invite guilt, you invite regret. You guys all sit down, get together, have some wine. You
That's
could
W-H-I-N-E.
Yeah.
Lots of wine.
Yeah, lots of wine with wine, red or white.
Oh, better still.
You could eat things that you usually wouldn't. But what I think the point of that is to have an ending. You have the party, but you know where it ends. We should feel our feelings. You know, there's this thing where people are, be up, it's okay, keep going. No, sometimes it sucks.
Being resilient doesn't mean you forget the feelings. It's like, I got a digestive tract illness, and it really hurts.
Right.
Oh, sometimes there was a good cry involved. Then it was like, okay, I had a good cry. Now, what is my next step?
Exactly. What do you do after the pity
Maybe
party?
I should look at a job where I'm not around so many nasty, negative people. Oh, this is as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should get away from selling petrochemicals. Gas station.
Oh, yeah, that
I was a
probably
fuel
won't help.
dispenser, never a gas jockey at that time. They
Mhm.
didn't have gas jockeys, they had fuel dispensers.
Okay.
Doesn't it sound good?
Yes,
Still
it
minimum
does.
wage.
But you're a fuel dispenser. So in a high competence, low variable commitment situation, you say that you have to create the buy-in first.
You've got to get yourself to buy in about, why am I doing this? What do I wish to achieve? So when I had my cancer diagnosis, I'm suddenly in a ward with a whole lot of really sick people. And mine, after a few days, we learned had spread to 4 locations. So, oh, I'm really sick and might not live a couple of years. Oh, I'm really sick. I might not live a few weeks. Oh, I've gone from very scared to very ass-scared, to use bad language.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to let cancer own me 7 and 24. Do I have the issue? Does the issue have me? Oh, the issue owned me off and on for 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, that's it. I'm going to intellectually kick butt, take names and numbers. Off to my lawyer, a new will made. Because I'd moved and my then spouse and I were in another province. I didn't want to have to deal with a will from another province. Done. Off to the moving company on the phone. Off to the real estate agent on the phone. Here's what's going on. Here's the important numbers for my spouse, my in-laws, my parents, and my brothers. If anything happens to me, you'll be in charge. Her and I've talked. She has a note. But she's going to stay 6 months. Don't run
Right.
from the grief. Hold on to it. Learn something from it. Then go out, take
Interesting.
names, take numbers.
Don't run from the grief.
Embrace it. Make
Embrace it.
friends with it to the
And-
best of your abilities. Because, boy, it's scary and overwhelming.
That's the truth. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to rewind to this point in this show and listen
so-
to this again.
Moved to high competence and high commitment, so I committed for me
Mm-hmm.
to be the best cancer patient version of me I could be. I can't be as good as you your way. You can't be my way. But, what do I need to cope? What do I want to have to thrive? What do I need to maximize resiliency for me? Oh, my faith, okay. Hey, Dad, you got that intranet at work, and you said you were really frustrated that I was this sick. I agree. I'm scared. Could you call all your buddies around the world on the intranet or leave them a text? Tell them Michael wants to be in their prayer groups. All faith, because the only thing I know for sure is I only know a little bit. Boom,
Right.
less than 2 weeks, I'm in 60-plus faith groups. Only one mistake I made then, I wish I had a list of faith groups and cities and... Anyways. Oh, I have some prayers that are really powerful. I also have some poetry. I also had read a book by a guy called Og Mandino that was really grabbed me by the heart. Mandino. OG was a nickname. Mandino, M-A-N-D-I-N-O.
Mm-hmm.
At some points, his book sold more than books of faith, which he said is really humbling and not my intent. I do not wish to be famous because I sold more books than the Bible.
Right.
I do not wish to be famous because I have rabbis and priests and mullahs writing me saying your book inspired me. That kind of writer, like his book was written just for me.
Right. Yes, I know those books. Were you sure that this person created that book?
I saw him speak once,
Mhm.
and I swear he came to Toronto to speak to me. The other 450
People
people in the
were
room,
just incidental.
they were just there to help pay the bills.
They were just incidental. So this high competence, high commitment, which is where we obviously aspire to be.
I
right?
aspire and perspire to be there.
We
Sometimes
aspire
you
and
gotta perspire as well.
perspire to be there. I think the perspiration part is really a big deal, whether it's physical or mental.
Yes.
And I love this. Once you reach that point where you're high competence, high commitment, you're really good at what you do and you love what you do, consider having them become SME, subject matter expert.
Yes.
And over time start assist coaching, which is what we're really seeing with social media, right?
Because we're practicing sharing. I didn't get here on my own. I had 4 awesome grandparents who helped lift me up. I had 2 awesome loving parents, which is really the lottery in this world.
Yes, it is.
Both my parents lived till I was 55. Both
Yes.
were nurturers.
Amazing.
Lots of aunties and uncles, and one uncle really had the gift of social emotional connection. So when Michael had a year in school where he failed, he came up for a walk and a talk. It was important to listen. If I talk about him, I get really emotional because to have an extra relative love you that deeply
I know.
and care to take a day off work and miss pay because his nephew was a little confused. Low commitment to school.
Yeah, that's the
That's the grade 9 thing, you know.
But isn't that amazing? Like,
But that's what we need to do for each other. It's why
100
I'm here tonight. There's somebody out there that needs this.
and this is why I'm here every Tuesday, because I hope to bring something someone needs. So when we come back from this break, we are going to quickly run through 7, what would we call these? The 7
keys to be more resilient.
7 keys to be more resilient, and I'm going to let you know how you can get in contact with Michael H. Ballard. We'll be right back after this break.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters. I'm Erica Lita. I'm here with Michael H. Ballard. He is a resiliency coach, Resiliency for Life.
Yes.
Started when he was 6 years old.
That concussion and seeing somebody else with the same issue respond totally different than me was like,
How can I do this differently?
yes.
And since then, he has been practicing, applying, and then when he reached the high competency, high
High competency, high commitment.
level, he said, well, you know what? Let me teach some other people. So now we are going to go through the list of 7 skills.
7 skills, mindsets to help you be more resilient.
Okay, so
So mind traps, we all have them. I work with some youth in eastern Toronto, and they're all wonderful. It's a church group that gets some federal funding to help youth at risk who've done nothing wrong, but they have no living relatives. I can't imagine being on my own at 16. I was respectful, but 16, me, nowhere to live? Oh, my Lord. So, a couple of years back, one of the young ladies in the room was adamant she had no mind traps. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. That's what you think. So we went through the rest of the day and the next day, and at the end of the last day, she said, this was really good for my ego. No basis in reality, though. Was I dateable? Oh, my. A 19-year-old girl asking me? Woo! I had to walk sideways through the door when I got home to tell my wife because my ego was this big.
This big.
And so I said to her, well, actually, you've just showed me you have an ism. I have not. I'm not ageist, sexist, racist. And she went down the list. I said, well, actually, you've confused my energy with my age and my attention for desire. Because I'm very respectful. If I'd have been 19, the answer would have been yes, yes, yes. Or maybe even 27, but not at the time 59.
Right.
As a 19-year-old when you're old and taken. And so I showed her my driver's license. And even though she was a lady of color, got a weak in the knees and the color drained. And she was like, oh, I said, yeah, I'm old enough to be your grandfather almost. Oh. So she had a mind trap. She confused energy and enthusiasm and respectful conversation with interest in her and a lesser age.
Right.
Not real dangerous, but it still made her vulnerable for manipulation.
Right.
Because if I was nasty or manipulative, she could have been in danger of something.
Right. So avoid mind traps.
traps.
So if you jump to conclusions, if you tend to blame people or yourself automatically, they put us in a very small, self-limiting place of thinking. So paying attention to your beliefs.
Like, why would I be on your show? I'm in South Brampton. I live in Toronto. No. The message of resiliency crosses all age, race, boundaries, faith, everything. I work with 3- and 4-year-olds. That's another conversation another day. But mind traps. We all have some, and we have to just learn to. I try to laugh at mine all the time.
Right. But it's being aware. You have to think. Remember what Erica says all the time? Think about your thinking. You got to think about your thinking. You have to, we automatically think things. That's how we're designed. But the real trick is to go, wait.
I could have had mind traps when I came to the studio tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Your associates on the other side of the camera, they're not very old. Mind trap could have said, are they smart enough?
Right.
Have they got enough experience?
So mind trap and maybe assumptions.
Assumptions, yes. They're
I like
all woven together. Mind traps, assumptions,
right.
beliefs.
So pay attention to think about your thinking.
I mean, one more for your associates on the other side of the camera, and they know this. They're awfully cute, too. So
right?
Does that make them confident, or are they here because the owner
they're beautiful.
likes cute?
Right, exactly.
No.
See all these compliments you're getting, but it's true.
It's true.
And interestingly enough, and Selena, I do give this to you, is I've heard time and time again how amazing you are, and people have been surprised because they see that she's very young, and she's also very friendly. So I don't know if they're just expecting an old, mean producer when they get here, but no, we have a young, very pleasant woman, and she gets
Maybe
things
we
done.
can give her some false teeth that look like she's missing a few,
and
a bad wig.
And
a food stained top, and then it will look like she's been here for 40 years.
No, she just needs to see me. Practice mindfulness.
Being in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
being non-judgmental about the moment. So my father took me out for a walk at 4 to get me to calm down one day. I don't know what I was revved about, but son, there's a tree here. What side of the tree does the moss grow on? I had to walk around the tree to see a little green stripe on the forest side.
Mm-hmm.
That side, the forest side, Dad. Walking back, powerful lesson in a small dose is easier to absorb. So what side of the tree doesn't have moss? Next trip. So moss takes dampness and coolness on that side. So what's this side with no moss mean? Where's the sun strike it? So it gets warmer or cooler than the moss side. So like over the course of 4 walks in the woods and the bush and the trees and the grasses, my dad was like, getting me to start to practice mindfulness.
Being present.
Being present.
Observing what's
and
happening
slow
at that
my
moment.
brain down because, my brain goes at 8,000 miles an hour with outbursts of 12,000 miles an hour, and that's both wonderful and really annoying to people around me.
Right.
Michael, could you slow down? But this is slow down. I'm really excited. It's great to be here.
Right. So it's being mindful, and your phones might really be not helping you with that. Being present, being in the moment. Don't be afraid to put them down. You're going to be okay. I promise.
Yes.
It's going to be all right.
Yes.
Check your perspective. That's the next step.
Back to mind traps, but perspective. I once had a 6'4" sales manager, and I had a customer that was 5'1". Ran a retail store. So part of my job was twice a year was to help my retailers pay attention to their cleaning system because it would age the product, shorten life cycle, more to throw out. Hurt profits.
Right. Bottom line.
So one day he comes in and when we're done, he said, I want you to bring a ladder next time. There's a dirt line around the whole store. She's only got a 1-step ladder, and she's reaching as high as she can, but at 4'8", 5'2", she's missing a good 1.5 feet of store.
Right.
I was 5'9". I saw some of the dirt, but not really. But when he looked down, he could see things I couldn't see.
Right.
So it's a small, but it's a vital example about perspective.
Checking your perspective, how you're looking at things. And I really like this. Don't waste time and energy worrying about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas in life.
Oh, be
right?
very careful. They can really hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
And the naughty phrase is, careful of yourself or others who woulda, coulda, shoulda on you.
Right. Be very careful of that phrase. So avoid mind traps, practice mindfulness, check your perspective, practice situational mastery. What does that mean?
Well, imagine we're here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a loud bang, and the ceiling starts dripping.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a water pipe broke.
Right.
Not in our lives. So don't get too excited about it.
Okay.
How can I help carry gear out of here so it doesn't get damaged to save the owners some money and stay safe at the same time? How many people are here? Because water means and electricity don't match.
Right.
So somebody should call 911.
Just
chill.
exactly. So I like this. Ask yourself and others for insights and assistance for more effective and immediate results. I really like
do
that.
it in little things, Or big things.
Or big things. And I like the little examples you're giving because you're showing the little examples, then you just kind of have to take that and apply it to the bigger stuff.
I had a neighbor move in who was 6'10", 6'11",
Mhm.
300 pounds, and my first thought was, I hope he never gets angry at me. And then my voice was, why would you think that?
Right.
We've done nothing wrong.
Oh, there we
He's-
go. Check your perspective.
he's very
Avoid
friendly.
fine trends. Assumptions.
As we got to know each other for 5 or 6 years, sir, could you not be so handsome around my wife? I think she finds you distracting compared to the old guy. He
Right.
knew I was playing the fool, but it created a lot of laughter.
Right. So exactly. And like you said, laughter, silliness, it really helps in
It
so
does.
many
It
situations.
does.
Don't take yourself too seriously. None of us are making out of this alive. Confront your beliefs.
Which, as I just discussed, that just because
Yep.
he's 6'11" doesn't mean he's dangerous.
Exactly.
Turns out he's a sensitive man. So when I came home from a funeral, one of my mentors as a teenager had died at 86, 87.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, in the hallway getting off another elevator. Are you okay? I said, I'm okay. I was blessed. This man for 13 years of my life was a good mentor, opened my eyes to see things in a wholly different perspective. And he passed. So I'm sad. He didn't ask. He came over and he gave me a hug. Not one of those man backslap. A real
Connected.
connective, caring hug.
Embrace.
And with a big grin, he lifted me off the ground like I weighed 12 pounds, put me back down, that I couldn't resist.
Right.
Because
So-
by then I'd shared that his size made me just a little
bit.
anxious.
And
when I first met
sharing
him.
that truth. Okay, we got to get through these
Yes.
last two. Reframing.
Reframing. Do you have the issue or does the issue have you is reframing the issue. So it's all about perspective. This is an interesting microphone, but I see it's got a vibration hanger, so the microphone's not directly connected. So if I tap, it won't cause the engineer ear pain
Right.
or the listener. So, interesting technology. Just perspective.
Perspective again. And the last one is next time.
This is one of my faves. I had a whole bunch of people who hired me because they were very negative. So I got brought into this workplace because they were all there. Nobody wanted to work with them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, next time, planning. I've been to my own funeral. What do I want people to say? I've imagined it.
Right.
My behavior today will impact what they say. My mom just passed. I'd already been to her funeral as soon as I got to be 50 because moms don't live forever. How will I want to feel that day? What do I want to remember about her? What do I want to celebrate what she did for me? So that it's easier to get through that momentous loss. So whether it's little things or big things. I had a neighbor with mental health issues. And she over-glorified her looks because she really wanted physical attention. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's the baseline. She wanted a whole lot more from every man.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you how out of kilter she was. So I tried to see her for her intellectual, emotional self and ignore the glorious curves that were constantly being presented.
Right.
So by practicing in advance, it was easy. So when she finally got help and her brother said, thanks for being respectful. Most weren't.
Right. So it's practicing. It's better. So what will you do to better prepare to a problem, to problem solve and innovate for challenges and opportunities the next time?
Next time.
So as I always say, something's only a failure if you don't learn from it.
If you can learn from it, then it wasn't a failure.
It wasn't a failure. So to wrap things up, how do people get into contact with you?
Okay, well, the telephone number and the email on that form is now out of date.
Okay.
Technology changes,
Mm-hmm.
so do providers.
Right.
So I am resilientmichael@gmail.com if they want to email me.
Mm-hmm.
They can find me on Facebook as Michael H. Ballard. There's a big story about why the H. It's not because I'm special. It's because there's other Michael Ballards that have been naughty, not nice.
Okay. So you got to
So,
differentiate
and
yourself.
then on Twitter, Resilient Michael with no L. LinkedIn, M.H. Ballard, all one word. So if you just put in Michael and Ballard and Resilience in Toronto,
You're
be
going to
stuck with-
find
You're
them.
going to find me in several locations. But on Facebook, I have 4 pages. I have a Resiliency for Life group on Facebook.
Okay.
I invite your viewers and listeners.
Absolutely. So check out Resiliency for Life on Facebook. On my business page, Erica Elita, I will be posting the 7 steps, and I will also be posting the 4
Types of-
stages. Yeah,
4 stages of
the 4
competence.
stages of competence. So I thank you again for joining me. Join us again next week, same time, same place. And I thank you so much, Michael, for showing up on such a
Great to be
short
here.
notice. Thank
It's a
you so
brisk
much.
day in Toronto.
That it is. So,
Thank you.
guys, keep warm, drive safe, and I'll see you next week.